$300,000 for us, and those are, again, and what I'm giving to you is things that build our budget, if you will. And we also have other fees that have seen increases. Civic Center and other facility rentals, we've seen increases to that, the use of those facilities. One of the things that we're gonna look at is fee increases to certain things. We have not, there's some things in our fee schedule that haven't changed since the 1980s. That's how long some of these schedules have been. So, we are gonna be looking at that. Our utility rates, again, we are at our peak as far as our study and what we're currently charging customers. We did have this last increase this year, and so we're looking at that. What we are gonna look at another utility rate study this year, either this year or next year, but probably this year, to look and see how we're gonna help offset our debt service, or this new debt we're probably gonna have to take on. And also, we also have services that we've provided that we in essence haven't recovered funding. We have we talk about, we're gonna have Operation Clean Cut. Well, that comes at a cost, right? That's an example, one example. We have a tire roundup that we haven't built into any particular fund. So we have these services that we're providing that we have not brush cleanup. We're paying to brush. So just those three items that I'm talking about, probably $50,000 or $60,000 that we have not. On top of that, we also have CPI increases. Our Consumer Price Index, every time Republic, there's an increase to Republic rates, solid waste rates, our rates go up, which means that there's more we have to pay in more. So, there are efforts to clean up the city and do some things, but it does come at a cost. So I just want to make sure that as we're talking about some of these measures, where we're emphasizing certain things that we want to do, they all come with a premium, right? So that's one of the things that we'll be looking at. Go to the next slide, Kristen. What I did last year is I looked at the proposed budget last year, and I would say a lot of the things that I'm mentioning to you here, is do a check off. Did we do this or not? Did we get it done or not? And most of the things I can say that we said in the budget last year, we got done. We hired the 4 full-time positions. We included, Ms. Moran was included August of last year. But we put her in the budget last year. We had the hiring of 2 police officers. Which is now, again, PD was fully staffed. You have 1 warehouse clerk and 1 part-time code enforcement officer. All of those, again, with the understanding of improving code enforcement, building permits, law enforcement, and cleaning up the city. Those 4 positions, that in essence was the intent, right? So when we talk about substance and why we did what we did, that's why. We received about 60 employees last year, received pay increases, and that's also in your budget. We revised a plan of 23-24, and those 60 employees did receive an increase last year. We did do reconstruction of our streets. We spent about $300,000. Actually, we just finished $250,000, give or take, on the streets we said we were going to do, and we did them. Those were done. We budgeted $10,000 for a facade grant. We anticipate having 1 application this year. I was hoping to get it sometime back for the facade grant, which is Dr. Asa. But we have not received that yet, but we are working on that. So we hope to have that. And I think in my opinion, I think he's doing a good job with the building. And I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be an attraction to the city, even if it's just it's a clinic, but it's really going to be a really nice benefit to us, in my opinion. We've earmarked, again, we anticipate doing, we thought we were going to be able to get to that. That's one project that we're still earmarking, is the city lights, the street lights, the LED lighting project. The council has approved that. We're expecting to commence that project in 2025 with AEP's blessing once they can get to it. We believe, and what I venture to say that HR has seen as well, and others, is our turnover has gotten better. What I mean by that is we have not turned over as much as we were. We were turning, I don't know the last time we were fully staffed. It's been years. It's been a long time so we are better there. And again, a lot of that is due to, again, some of the increases, things y'all allowed us to do. We appreciate that. We are, as Councilmember Leal, we did, pointed out, we've done rehabilitation to our water wells, our areas of, our elevated storage tanks, I'm sorry, our storage tanks, and that project is $2 million. It's a $2 million project over a 10-year period. We've paid about a little over about $1 million of the $2 million that was approved. That project was approved in 2020. So we are in the midst of paying our bigger amounts. We have one more payment, and it's in your operating budget of $352,000 this year. That is included in this year's budget. We are out of ARP money, so too bad, so sad. So we have that. That's been a big help to us. We've made significant repairs to our water wells. Thankfully, they've been working. And I know we spent a significant amount of money on them last year. We have 2 shovel-ready projects, which I mean by that is the water and wastewater project on 35, Business 35, excuse me. And again, as we mentioned earlier, we moved the public works folks, parks and PD, and the new warehouse. They're now open. And again, we're looking at doing some sort of a ribbon cutting sometime maybe in September, October, a dedication to the building. And we appreciate everything again the council has done to allow us to move out there. It's been a blessing. It's been really good. So I think everybody's been pleased, and so thank you for that. The code enforcement cases, I think Ms. Moran brings those to you on a monthly basis. They have increased. The Operation Clean Cut. Is there 8 or 10 lots, Ms. Moran?
We have a total of 8.
I have that number wrong. It was 8 lots this year. I think one of the lots that finally got this done this year, I'm thankful for. There's plenty of them, but the one that I could think of was right across the street from the middle school. That was recently cleaned. I think I mentioned it to Ms. Talamantes, who is the principal out at the middle school. But there was a property on Chestnut that needed cleaning, and I believe that property was. And I would ask on that, in properties like that, I think I mentioned it, and I'll mention it to others. If a responsible entity or person is interested in taking those properties on, I think it would be a benefit to the community. If it's a school district across the street, I know we've had those discussions, but it's just buildings, things like that, it is a significant expense, I get it, but there is a benefit in my opinion. Again, as mentioned by Ms. Moran, the permitting process has improved. Really the development process, we still have work to go. Don't get me wrong, it needs work. It is not perfect, and there's things that we still have to work on, but it has gotten better. As the council knows, we've helped fund the Pearsall, the chamber. That happened last year. We owe them a second payment. I did talk to Mr. Rendon today. There was a group of us that met with Mr. Rendon today. It was a good conversation, really good as far as where they're at, and you guys should be seeing some things happening in the next month or 2. We're anticipating we receive some dates from them, and we'll share that. Well, they probably want to share those with you. As far as I think they're going to do a grand opening, and they're also doing some other things that look promising. So it's a good thing, and it seems like it's getting there. So it's been a long time coming. There are some ideas and things ideas we've shared, and things that they shared with us, particularly at the meeting, that I think it'll be a good thing. I really think it's shaping up to be something good. Our city clerk is working on records destruction. We have an event coming up. When is it coming up?
August 18th.
August 8th for records destruction. 18th?
Yes, sir.
For the entire community. That's going to be August 18th for records destruction. And so it's something that I think it's a good program that we're trying to get together and getting people to go out there and help them with destruction of their records, other things they may have. Retention program, she's also working on that. As far as our documents, the school trade interlocal agreement, we've seen some success, and we want to continue the program. There is a proposed cut to that. We had budgeted $40,000 to that. We are proposing to reduce that amount, but it's still a program we want to continue. And I believe we are looking to do benches. There's going to be some benches. Ms. Moran, can you elaborate on what all we're looking at to do with that again?
We're doing, for the school, we'll be getting benches and tables for the
Planners.
school.
Yes.
And then on the park side,
That's right.
Brent,
We're having picnic tables, planters
Planters.
along the Main Street.
Planters
That's all.
and trash cans.
They're building all that at the wood shop. They're at the wood shop.
Oh, they're building it.
The school's gonna do that.
I thought he
We
said
provided the
we're
material.
on my part.
They're building that. We're also looking at maybe considering doing them. I know that they've been trying to get I hear, I don't know, a barbecue program going or something.
Yes.
I'll be the first volunteer to coach them. They do. But they are looking at that, so we're looking at helping them with that, and just something to give a little bit of, Pearsall pride, if you will, to get them a barbecue pit, and we can help with that element. We have a pit, so you guys know, we have a pit at the Civic Center that I don't think anybody's used. We have a lot of metal out there that's not being used. It's a huge pit, so it's out there behind the Civic Center. I'm sure y'all have seen it, but it's never used. And so part of what we're gonna do is offer that and maybe some other things to help with, maybe build a school and a barbecue pit and see if we can figure something out with that. But that will be all part of the trades program.
That would be good. They have that in Dilly. They actually went to state this
Yep.
year.
Yeah, they do.
They really did. And actually, they can fund it through a program too, like to help them out with the buying the meat and all that stuff. They
Yep.
have a subsidy.
You're right. And then, we are doing, the tire roundup and the brush disposal program. It's all being done this year. So I think they've done a good job at the transfer station that I mentioned earlier. You go to the next one, Crystal. I wasn't doing that whenever, okay. When we talk about grants, loan forgiveness, when we talk about, what grants are we doing, what are we doing, and why, is there grants or not? This is where we're currently standing. We anticipate receiving in the next year or two about $4.3 million in grants, loan forgiveness programs. I would challenge folks that think of the last time we've gotten grants or loan forgiveness of that amount. Again, this is all the work here. This is not me. This is a group of people that's me, in my opinion, are doing a good job. $1 million, and three of the four, I don't know if I'd call the home program a competitive grant, but it does require a lot of work. Most of those grants were competitive. So, we have a total of $4.3 million. The only one that was not competitive is the $2.1 million grant that we're receiving from the General Land Office, and that is for a new water well. But we are looking to receive an air curtain incinerator. The home program, again, our contribution, as you'll see in your budget, is $140,000 of $1 million of construction. So that's our contribution. What we anticipate or budgeted, what we have budgeted, and the COPS grant we received this past year, and that is also helping with the hiring of 2 police officers. But that is, again, $4.3 million that we feel pretty good about. Go to the next slide, Crystal. The other programs, again, we're looking at is through the Parks and Wildlife, the Environmental Protection Agency. The ACOG was here a week or so ago, and we drove out with them. I believe the mayor, the judge, and others drove out with them. They are looking to apply for a $30 million grant with the EPA, and we are looking to. I'd like to have all the entire $30 million, but if we could get a good percentage of that, I'd be really pleased. So we're going to be submitting information to them, and we are going to apply for as much money as we can get out of this. From what I understand, they don't have much interest from any of the other communities in the area. We have a lot of interest. So we'll be
Council and
applying.
the director of ACOG came down, the director,
We did.
and shovel ready is the key, and we are one of the few communities that are shovel ready, and so it looks good. As good as grants can look, it looks like we're gonna get something.
So we'll be sending information to them. And the other piece that we're looking at is the U.S. and Texas Department of Agriculture. I believe Congressman Gonzalez secured some funding for the city of Divine. I think it was $4.5 million, if you will, something to that effect, through the U.S. Department of Agriculture, excuse me, for a facility for them. Part of what we'll be looking for, and I will be getting with Ernie, is to see if there's any options for us to look at some funding. It is a challenge, and to the council member's point, Councilmember Trevino, it is a challenge investing in facilities and things that some folks would maybe consider not critical. Now, and I say that with all respect, but again, I'm saying that I don't think that we can just say, well, let's just not do anything. That's not my point. I think I'm saying that we need to go after these dollars and make sure that we're at least getting the attention of some of these resources and some of these people that hold these dollars, if you will. And a lot of times it's your U.S. your congressman at the U.S. and the state level. I was made aware that I believe that there's also congressional earmarks at the state level. Okay, I don't know that I'm aware of those, but they do exist. That's what I'm understanding. So, in saying that, those are important to me, and I hope they'll be important to the city council. So again, going back to this, what's included in the budget? We are including 2 additional officers to meet up with the COPS grant. We're including 1 assistant public works director. It's been tough. The public works director gets stretched pretty good. He does a good job. Sometimes he doesn't want to admit that he needs help, but he does need help in my opinion. We are looking for somebody that has some licenses with that position, a Class C wastewater licenses is what I prefer to see in that position, but I will work with the public works director on that if this request is met. The $750,000 Parks and Recreation, that's in there. We did have $160,000 for street improvements. That is normally at $300,000. I want to make sure that and I'll explain kind of why that was reduced. One of the reasons was because right below that is $140,000 for the home program match. So you add those 2 up, that totals $300,000. On top of that, we are going to agree to purchase equipment, and I tried to put Hector on the spot last week, but he didn't. My understanding is they'll be able to do some of these roads now. They have the knowledge, so we anticipate doing this, at least from my standpoint, doing the same amount of roads if we're doing the work. So we're going to try to purchase some of the equipment that they need so they can do the work as opposed to hiring a contractor to do the work. So I think they've done a pretty good job, a decent job. Some of the road work but I think for the most part has been pretty good with these contractors. But we're going to try to give it a go, and we're going to see if we can get it done. Again, the tire roundup, brush disposal, operation cleanup. There's a one-time pay for city employees of $2,000 that's in the budget. Go to the next slide, Krista. The fuel incentive for police officers and the cadet program expenses are in there. Part of that, again, at least from our standpoint, we think that the reason that we're able to keep folks is because we are offering some things that we're offering as far as pay. We do want to move forward with our interlocal agreement with the school district, the $20,000. Was reduced to $20,000. One of the things that's in the budget and has been a challenge for us is the health insurance. Health insurance is expensive. As most of y'all know, it is expensive, and we are not immune to that expense. We are looking at again, it's in there, about a 15% increase at the minimum to our health insurance costs, and for us, it's a lot of money. We're a small entity. We don't have a big pool of folks to spread the cost out, if you will, but it is an expensive that we are absorbing the cost, and it's in the budget. That's in there. The payment for the rehabilitation of our water tanks is in there. We are, again, the earmark for the city street lights is in there. So you won't forget what's also in there is a $1.2 million for the clarifier project, the wastewater treatment plant. That's in the budget. You'll see that I believe it's under water. So if you look at that, again, we're also involved in doing and budgeting for a lot of events. This year, the Hispanic Heritage Festival is scheduled to get $150,000 this year, this coming fiscal year. That'll be the 5th anniversary of the Hispanic Heritage Festival. And then the design and construction projects utilizing TERS funding. The one that you just approved is our first project that we use TERS money for. There will be others. There's another water project that we're looking at, and I think some of the TERS group and they actually are asking really good questions. The group that we're meeting with as to what else we could do and what the TERS can do to help with some of these things. And so I think on that end, we do wanna get feedback from the council and others to see what other things that can be done with that TERS funding. And the city attorney could probably help me out with here, but that funding can be used for any public improvements in the TERS zone. Is that fair to say, Buck?
Yes, infrastructure,
Infrastructure projects.
but
So-
that includes just about anything you can think of.
Yes, so I just wanna make sure that that's clear, and we'll go over that, but I know that there's been some questions on that. We are looking at, the other things that we're at.